Well, sometimes when you're in the entertainment business, you find yourself without work from time to time, and that happened to me up in Iowa. I just finished a job there, and it was a real nice job, but I found I didn't have nothing going on for the next weekend, so I was probably going to starve to death if I didn't find a job. I went over to the employment office, and they said they could probably find me something to do if I wanted to work for the city. I said, that'd be all right. Went on down to the city office, and the man behind the counter, he was the foreman, he says, well, I need somebody to paint the center line from the courthouse all the way down the road to the city limits. Now, if you can do that, you got yourself a job. It might take 2 or 3 days. I said, well, sure, I can do that. He says, well, here's a bucket of paint. It's white. Here's a paintbrush. Now, you go on down to the courthouse, and you start painting from the courthouse all the way down the road, all the way out to the city limits. So I did that. I took the paint, put the paint bucket right down there at the steps at the courthouse, and I started painting that straight. And it wasn't too hard. I paint a little bit, go back and get some paint a little bit, and paint a little bit, and paint a little bit. Well, at the end of the day, the foreman came by and he says, how far did you get? I says, well, pretty far. And the foreman says, you did 15 blocks worth of paint. That's amazing. Ain't nobody ever did that before. You come back tomorrow and we'll paint some more. Well, next day I showed up, started painting again, and at the end of the day, the foreman came by and he says, well, how far did you get? I says, well, I don't know. The foreman says, you only got 10 blocks this time. You're slowing down a little bit, but 10 blocks that's pretty good painting. Well, the third day I came back and started painting again. I painted and I painted and I painted and I painted some more. And the foreman came by at the end of the day and he looked at me and he says, what's wrong with you? You only did 2 blocks of paint this time. I said, well, I don't know what's really wrong. I must be tired or something. It's all that walking back and forth to fill my brush full of paint from the paint bucket back there at the courthouse. That's all.